Okay, grade nines. Today we're doing rational numbers. What is a rational number? So to do that, we got to go back and talk about the basics of this. Okay, so let's talk about numbers like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the dot, dot, dots mean they go on forever. These are known as natural numbers, or sometimes referred to as counting numbers. There's no zeros, there's no fractions, no decimals, no negatives or anything. Okay, so then we can move on to the next one. Now we add a 0 to the front of it right here, right? So we started with 0. These are known as whole numbers. Then we keep going on, and we have all the negatives. So negative infinity is way over here, all the way up to positive infinity and everything in between. So these are all the positive and negatives. Those are known as integers. All of these then, after that, then we can go look at rationals. And rationals, I know it's weird, it's represented by cube, but this can be anything that's represented as a fraction. But the only difference is the denominator cannot be 0 because we can't divide by 0. So this would be like a half. This would even be like the number 3 because you could have 3 over 1, which is still a rational. So if you look at these ones, 4 over 1, yeah. 1 over 3, yeah. 0.2 can be converted to 2 over 10 or 1 over 5. 0.6 repeater can be 2/3, and 0.3 repeater can be 1/3. These are all rational numbers. They can be expressed as a fraction. Then the last part here is irrational. So it's q with a line over it. And these are non-repeating and non-terminating. So pi goes on forever and it doesn't repeat itself. Root of 2, root of 3, right? Those are all irrational numbers. But what about root of 4? No, root of 4 can be changed and simplified down to 2, so it's irrational number. All of these, the whole category, all these numbers, natural, whole, integer, rational, and irrational, are known as real numbers. Let me use that for the letter R. Okay, flip to the second page, and let's look at some more stuff here. What we do is we can talk about placing values on a number line, and you really have to know. On a number line, you could have your number line anywhere. We normally start with 0 in the middle, but it can be anything. It could be all positive. It could be all negative. You can create your number line based on the numbers that you have. So what we have here is we have a half. Where does that go? Well, you can see right here between 0 and 1. B is 2. Yeah, goes right on the 2. C is 3/4. Yeah, between the A and the 1 because it's about halfway between there. D, 5 over 2. Now, if you don't like improper fractions, you can change it to a mixed, and then you can see it's 2.5. Yeah, you can put it right there. E is negative 1/3. This is the first side. We're going to the left now. The negative's over here, so here's your E over here. F is negative 1/2, right? Halfway between 0 and negative 1. Negative 5 over 4. If you convert that, that's negative 1.25. You can see that that's right here. Negative 0.8. That's negative on this side again. Where's that? Yeah, it's between 0 and negative 1, closer to the negative 1. Negative 2.1, yeah, right there. And negative 4 over 2, which breaks down to negative 2. Yeah, right on there. Okay, perfect. Now, so here's some more. But this one, no number line, no numbers were given on the number line. So we can create it if we need to. So what we did is we have our line here. We put 0 somewhere in the center, and we went 2 to negative 3 just to see the breakdown of this. So negative 3/8. Now, if you don't like that, you could change it to a decimal if that helps you put it on the number line. So negative 3/8 is right about there. 5/9 between 0 and 1. Negative 10 over 4 is the same as negative 2 and 2 over 4, which is negative 2.5, which is right here. And you see how we put the original number, not the negative 2.5. We put the original improper there. Negative 1.25. There's negative 1, negative 2. So negative 1.5 would be there. So negative 1.25 is right about there. So it's just a matter of setting up your number line and putting the numbers on correctly. Okay, last page. So what we have here is we have a bunch of numbers. We have a bunch of fractions. Some are positive, some are negative. So what we want to know is which ones are equivalent or equal to each other. So look at this one. Negative 1 over 4 and 1 over negative 4. You see why there's circles around them? Because they're actually the same. It doesn't really matter where you put that negative, right? You can put that negative on the top or on the bottom. We normally put it in the middle. What about this one? Positive 1/4. And, oh, that's weird. Why is this one circled? There's negatives in there. But you got to remember your rules, right? A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So technically, that is positive 1/4. So we can put lines around those. 4 over 1 and negative 4 over negative 1, right? 4 over 1 is positive. Negative 4 divided by negative 1 is also positive. So these two are the same here. And this is the lone one out. It's not equal to anything else. So when we look down here, you can see negative 3 over 4, 3 over negative 4, and negative 3/4. And what it is we can put equal signs between all of these because they are equivalent. You can put the negative sign wherever you want. The normal version is this one at the end here, right? Where it's right between the two. Okay, some other words you got to get used to, right? Remember, you can remember these as the alligators eating the bigger one or the Pac-Man eating the bigger number. This one's less than, right? So this would be 2 less than 5 or something like that. This one is less than or equal to. This one would be greater than, for instance, like 5 is greater than 2, right? And the bottom one here is greater than or equal to. Okay, so that was lesson 3.1.